Today, I want to talk to you about 3 timely topics. First, why we go to Florida most winters. And number 2, how we do it. What tools do we use and the tips for making those work for you. And 3, my thoughts about how less Canadian friends camping is going to impact our ability to book state parks. So why do we book Florida state parks each winter? Well, there's no earth-shattering reason. 12 years ago, I made my living playing guitar and singing and performing. And each year, corporate and wedding shows would dry up in the cold environment here in our North Carolina mountains. So we decided to try heading down to Florida to work and enjoy the warmer weather. Fast forward to the last 7 years, and that warmer weather is the main reason we go down. We love being on and by the water, and we love staying busy and active and being outside. And when the temps drop into the 20s in our hometown, I just tend to hibernate. So going down to a place we love to be out in the sun just has become our habit. What we've learned is the Florida Keys and Southwest Florida is really close by to us. We can get there in just about a day or a day and a half, and we can count on the days being in the 70s and 80s in the winter when it's in the 20s at home. Lots of other reasons like friends, bike trails, fishing, great seafood to eat, and shopping. But we head that way mainly because of the warm weather. We're not the only ones who love to go to Florida in the winter. In fact, if you're on the East Coast, it's the place to go. And getting a site, especially in the Florida state parks, can be difficult. And we've shared in the past a few videos about how we pull this impossible feat off year after year, and we usually leave home with only 1 or 2 reservations in our pocket. Because you see, we never really know when we're going to leave, and it keeps us from having to cancel a bunch of reservations. Well, to do that, you need to grab cancellations, and in order to get cancellations, you need a little help. Over the years, we've used many websites and tools to help improve our odds, but they're almost all do the same. You tell them when you want to go, where you want to go, and how long you want to stay, and they look for availability to pop up when someone cancels. And if that fits your criteria, they'll text you a notification, and a few can even book it for you. So we've narrowed our favorites down to 3 of these tools that I'll put links to down in the description of the video. Our first, and still our most trusted, is CampNab. It's been around for a long time, and they've been a sponsor of the channel for years. And unlike a lot of other sponsors, they demand nothing, they listen to our feedback, and they keep making it better and better. And we've learned to trust that if a cancellation pops up, they'll find it, and they're going to let us know reliably and on time. The second is the website wanderinglabs.com, and like I said, I'll put links down below in the description. They do almost the same thing as CampNab, but just a little differently. With their service, you can specify the RV type and the RV size and the amenities you want, and they'll only notify you when a cancellation pops up that meets your criteria. It's also a little more affordably priced than CampNab, and in some ways it has more features. But you've heard me say in the past, you always get what you pay for. Well, usually. And over the years that we've been using both services, we've booked more campsites with CampNab than Wandering Labs, even when they're looking for the exact same spots at the same time. But this season, something's changed because Wandering Labs seems to be rock solid, and it's booking a lot of our sites. So it's an affordable option if you want to just get one service. Even though we're not sponsored by them, we really recommend their service as well. And the third tool we use is RV.com. That's ARVIE.com. Same kind of services, but with a better map interface and access to campgrounds like KOAs and state parks and national parks. The key difference with them is you provide your login credentials for, say, the Florida state parks, and you allow them to bill your credit card when needed. And when a site pops up, they take you out of the equation and actually book it and notify you that they've done that. They'll add on their small booking fee to the total reservation fee, and they'll hit your credit card for that immediately. Now, we don't use them to book everything for us, But what we do use them for is when we're trying to find an impossible campsite at a national park, or in Florida, Bahia Honda and Curry Hammock. If you camp in the Florida Keys, and you already know these sites get snagged up in seconds, so Lynn and I are willing to pay a little bit extra to increase our chances of booking one. And this year, RV has helped us book 3 reservations in the Keys already. As I'm booking this year to go down into Florida in 2026, I'm noticing that things are a little different. Now, I'm not a researcher and I don't know all the reasons, but I can tell you this. We've been snagging cancellations to camp in the winter season in Florida, which is their peak season, for over 8 years. We usually leave home with just 1, maybe 2 reservations already booked, and we just trust that we're going to find a last-minute cancellation as we travel, as folks cancel, that'll work for us. This year, for whatever reason, almost every week that we plan to travel is already booked at perfect places that we want, and not those onesie-twosie days either. 7 nights here, 8 nights here, 4 nights here, right in the places we want to go. And yeah, something's different. I think it's a combination of 3 things. The first one may be obvious. Like I said before, there are 35% fewer Canadians coming down to camp in Florida this year, but it doesn't make that big of a difference for us because not as many of those camp in state parks. They tend to book long-term places that they can count on year after year and come back each year. But a small percentage of them do book Florida state parks 9 and 10 months in advance, and they're not coming, and that has changed things a little. Second, last year was the first year that Florida residents could book sites a month earlier than non-residents. If you don't know about that, that was a change that took place. And that seemed to make a difference then, and it's making a difference now. You see, when you're driving down from Canada or Michigan or New York, you tend to cancel all your reservations at one time if you decide you're not coming. But if Tomoka State Park is an hour from your home and your plans are going to change, or something comes up and you need to cancel, well, you just go ahead and do that because you can always go back. So last year we noticed many more Florida residents in the park, and we noticed many more last-minute reservations that were being canceled from those who live there. And last, I think many folks are just struggling right now. Everything seems to cost more related to travel. And going on a fun trip when your budget is already stretched pretty thin is hard to talk yourself into. So many folks who worked really hard last year to book a year in advance, to get sites 2 weeks at a time, well, they've made the decision that they just can't afford or just can't justify coming down. So what we're seeing is a lot of those 1 and 2 week reservations are popping open. So instead of seeing just one day open up, we're seeing weeks at a time open when you're looking for it. That has made it look different this year. Instead of having to get 1 night here or 2 nights here, as those 7-day and 14-day reservations become available, if you're fast, you can swoop in and grab them and book a perfect vacation. So what does this mean for you? Well, what it means is this. If, like me, you're willing to pay for 1 or 2 of the tools I talked about, and you want to spend weeks in sunny Florida this winter when it's a lot warmer than where your hometown is, then I would say that this is the year. Finally, this is the year that you should risk it and go down. Even if you don't have any reservations right now, start looking for them. We still have all those cancellations that are going to happen like they do every year, where folks have issues with their RVs and they have to go home, or they have health issues and they go home, or something pops up for work and they go home. All those things pop up right at near a day or 2 from the time that they had their reservations, and those cancellations show up. And if you're lucky and if you're diligent, you can go out there and book them. And on top of that, I think this trend of the 1 week and 2 week cancellations from our friends in Canada are going to continue too. So those are going to show up. You may get lucky and get a beachfront site in a state park that costs $35 a night for 2 weeks if you're diligent and if you learn how to use these tools. And learning to use the tools that I've mentioned is not really difficult. But if you have any questions about them, leave them in the comments down below. And if you're one of those guys that's been doing this forever and you want to share your tips with the community, we hope you'll do that in the comments too. Either way, I promise I'll get back to you with the answers quickly, and if needed, I'll do a deeper dive video to cover any topics that I missed. Well, my name's Owen, and I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope to see you in Florida this year. I'll be out of this long sleeve shirt and in shorts and a t-shirt out on my kayak fishing or riding Maggie around in her Toto basket. And if you do see us, we surely hope you'll come up and say hello to us. Who knows, we may become lifelong friends. And remember, I told you we go to Florida in the winter for a lot of reasons. The sunshine, the bike trails, the fishing, the water, the wildlife. But the biggest of all, the friends that we make along the way. And you may become one of those, and I hope you do. Well, all those things and the fact that white sand beats white snow every day, and 75 degrees beats 25 degrees, at least for this old man. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in Florida.